JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, siblings perish in St. James house fire. Two young siblings perished in a fire that destroyed their house in Lilliput, St. James this morning. They have been identified as 3-year-old Aiden Flowers and his 1-year-old brother, Christopher. Reports from the Barrytown police are that about 8:30 a.m., the boy's mother went to a nearby shop to purchase items. It is further reported that residents saw flames coming from the family's house and raised an alarm. The police and fire department were summoned. The blaze was extinguished by firefighters, and during a cooling down exercise, the remains of the brothers were discovered. The community has been left in mourning. Chicken vendor chopped up by relatives. 2 family members of a jerk chicken vendor have been accused of wounding him using a machete in Richmond Hill, Bickerseth, on Monday afternoon. Reports are that about 3 p.m., the 60-year-old vendor had an argument with 2 of his male relatives, after which they started fighting. Both men reportedly attacked the vendor and used the machete to chop him to the right side of his head and the back of his right hand, which caused wounds that bled profusely. He was taken to hospital where he was admitted. The relatives would be slapped with wounding with intent charges. 15-year-old gas station robbery suspect arrested. A 15-year-old boy was arrested at a gas station in Red Hill Square, St. Andrew yesterday, after a police team responded to an emergency call of a robbery in progress. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, reported that when the team entered the building, they found the boy hiding underneath a cardboard box, and he pointed a homemade shotgun in their direction. The police opened fire, and the minor fell. The police retrieved the weapon, and the teen was taken to the Kingston Public Hospital for treatment and admitted in stable condition. After the scene was processed by both the JCF and the Independent Commission of Investigations, a 12-gauge cartridge was found, along with a silver Taurus Magnum .357 revolver containing 3 live rounds and 2 empty casings. The arrest came hours after cops shot and killed a man, while another escaped Monday morning at the same location when they attempted to rob the store. The deceased has been identified as 23-year-old Shaquille Simpson, otherwise called Pee-wee, of Red Hills Road. St. Ann man charged with murder. The St. Ann police have arrested and charged 28-year-old Devor Icky, otherwise called Orain, and Etty of Roaring River, Steertown in the parish, in connection with the shooting death of a man in his community on Thursday, May 6. Dead is 40-year-old Oswald Smith, a boat captain of the same community. Reports are that about 7 p.m., Icky, who was armed with a firearm, allegedly attacked Smith and shot him while he sat on a wall at his gate. The matter was reported to the police. Icky was apprehended and was subsequently charged after an interview. He was charged with murder and breaches of Law Reform Fraudulent Transactions Special Provisions Act. 15-year-old accused of accidentally shooting 6-year-old cousin in police custody. The 15-year-old boy, who is accused of accidentally shooting his 6-year-old cousin, Jadane Miller, while playing with an illegal firearm Monday afternoon, was handed over to the police at the Freeport station in Montego Bay, St. James, for questioning late last evening. The juvenile was accompanied by his mother and his attorney, Henry McCurdy. We have no further information from the police. At this point, I can't say anything else, McCurdy said. Jadane was shot dead in a yard at Darling Street, Harmony Town, Savlamar, Westmoreland. Police report that about 2:30 p.m. on Monday, the 6-year-old was among a group of children playing when an explosion was heard. Jadane was subsequently discovered lying in a pool of blood, suffering from a gunshot wound to the back. He was taken to the Savlamar Public General Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. The youngster, now in custody, then fled the scene. It is understood that the teenager lives in the yard, where there are several other houses. Speaking to journalists yesterday, Deputy Superintendent in charge of operations at the Westmoreland Police Division, Adrian Hamilton, said that the parents of the 6-year-old were cooperating with the police probe. Statements have been recorded. Both parents of the victim have been interviewed, stated DSP Hamilton. All the arrangements are in place for him to come in this evening, Hamilton said yesterday. He also said that agents of the Child Protection and the Family Services Agency have been informed and are actively on the ground with our community safety and the security branch personnel. He added that since the start of the year, 17 juveniles in Westmoreland have been charged for major crimes including abduction, rape, grievous sexual assault, assault at common law, and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. 2 would-be thieves who were busted in Hatfield, Manchester, on Friday, May 14, are set to appear in the Mandeville Parish Court on Wednesday, May 26, to answer to the charge of housebreaking. They have been identified as 29-year-old Philip Alberts of Hopetoun Road, Manchester, and 24-year-old Michael Mays of Melrose District, Manchester. Reports are that at about 9 a.m., a homeowner was alerted that her house was being broken into. She contacted the police, who responded and surprised the thieves. Both men were caught inside the house. They were charged after an interview in the presence of their attorneys. Government seeking to tap into global ackee market. The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries is seeking to cultivate approximately 1,000 acres of ackee over the next 3 years through public-private partnership. Portfolio Minister Floyd Green says this venture has been embarked as the government looks to tap into the global ackee market where we have a competitive advantage. He was making his 2021-2022 sectoral debate presentation in the House of Representatives recently under the theme, The New Face of Food. Green said the proposed ackee cultivation venture will also incorporate wide-ranging stakeholder engagement and the training sessions for these interests to share best practices relating to reaping the fruit, which he describes as Jamaica's yellow gold, and pruning the trees. He pointed out that these activities are intended to assist in spurring local ackee production. Ackee is the national fruit of Jamaica. The ripe ackee fruit is considered a dietary staple across the country. It is one of the 2 ingredients comprising Jamaica's national dish, ackee and saltfish. NWC urges developers to consult agency before starting projects. The National Water Commission, NWC, is urging developers to consult the Commission in order to get information about existing water and sewage infrastructure in certain areas before starting construction. In making his opening remark during the recent virtual construction industry forum that was hosted by the NWC, the Commission's president, Mark Barnett, explained that the water provider plays a major role in developments within Jamaica. Therefore, he said that it is important that the Commission is consulted as soon as there are development plans so that the necessary information can be shared with members of the construction industry. At the end of the day, we want to ensure that we all have a fulsome understanding of how the process works and how infrastructure development is necessary in supporting the types of development that we're seeing, Barnett said. Similar sentiments were shared by Garth Jackson, Vice President, Engineering and Capital Projects at the NWC. We need to engage each other. We need to ensure that we have development plans in place. We need to ensure that the Housing Agency of Jamaica and all the persons involved in development, as early as possible, indicate where exactly they propose to do something, he said during the forum. Yes, the NWC does have plans for particular areas, but at the same time, the NWC can plan so far. If we're to go further, then we really need to be supportive of each other. As part of his presentation, Ian Bennett, Engineering Design Manager at NWC, explained that developers must provide high-quality submissions so that the Commission can inform them of where water and sewage infrastructure is available and provide approval for their developments. To aid in the approval process, Bennett said that the NWC needs to view the site plans, which should be done by a commissioned land surveyor. The engineer reports must be stamped and signed by registered engineers in their respective disciplines. Suitable location maps and drawings must be submitted. Intended demand must be stated, and suitable contact information must be provided. On average, Bennett said that the NWC receives about 30,000 applications per year, but only 15,000 are approved. He explained that these approvals are given based on our capacity and what is required for us to do. Like his colleagues, Bennett urged stakeholders in the construction industry to make contact with the NWC before development begins, so that they can be told the level of infrastructure that exists in particular areas and what the NWC's plans are. You cannot plan without knowing where the resources are coming from, Bennett said. If we don't do things correctly from now, in the next couple of years, we're going to have troubles and difficulties in different areas with regards to our water and sewage services. We do need to ensure that the service from the National Water Commission is not deemed as a secondary service. It is actually a critical service in the development of a nation. 93 new COVID cases, 14 more deaths. Jamaica has recorded 93 new cases of COVID-19 and 14 additional deaths, bringing the total number of confirmed cases to 47,572 and the death toll to 892. Of the 93 new cases, there were 43 females and 50 males, with ages ranging from 7 months to 91 years. The cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew, 19, St. Elizabeth, 18, St. Catherine, 15, St. Thomas and Westmoreland, 8 each, St. James and Trelawney, 7 each, Clarendon, 4, Manchester and St. Anne, 3 each, and Portland, 1. Meanwhile, the 14 deaths were recorded between February 2 and May 17, and they are as follows. An 89-year-old male from St. James, whose death was previously under investigation. A 47-year-old female from St. James. An 83-year-old female from St. James. A 61-year-old female from Manchester. An 87-year-old male from Manchester. A 70-year-old female from Manchester. An 82-year-old male from Manchester. An 89-year-old male from St. James, whose death was previously under investigation. A 47-year-old female from St. James. An 83-year-old female from St. James, a 61-year-old male from Westmoreland, an 87-year-old male from Westmoreland, a 70-year-old female from Westmoreland, an 82-year-old male from Westmoreland, an 84-year-old male from Manchester, a 68-year-old female from Manchester, a 74-year-old female from Manchester, a 74-year-old female from Manchester, a 57-year-old male from Manchester, an 86-year-old male from Manchester, and a 79-year-old female from Manchester. These deaths recorded in Manchester occurred between March and May 2021. The country also recorded 120 recoveries, bringing the total recovered cases to 23,530. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember, subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.